A long time ago, there was a young adventurer somewhere in a parallel universe, and his name was... Well, we're not sure about his real name. All we know is that his nickname was the Swordbreaker. Once, when he was in a tavern spending his last money on a pint of beer, he noticed two men at the next table arguing about something. One of them stood up, smashed a bottle against the table, and stabbed the other one with its jagged edges. The next minute, the villain was gone. The adventurer rushed up to the dying man. In his dead throes, the man grabbed onto the hero's clothes and, just before breathing his last, handed him a scroll. Later, when the hero shut himself in a room he'd rented for the night, he unrolled the scroll, which turned out to be an old map with a castle. The adventurer's face lit up. He was broke and badly needed money. So the next day, he set out on a great journey full of dangers and chance encounters.
And welcome, my friends, to Swordbreaker ASMR. By selecting this video, you have chosen a darker path. Swordbreaker is a visual novel gaming experience where you choose your own actions throughout your adventure. And by selecting this video, you have chosen the path of a ruthless, violent protagonist. Let us enter the castle of Swordbreaker ASMR and have some fun along the way, even if it's at someone else's expense. So sit back and relax. I got this. And please enjoy Swordbreaker, Heart of a Killer ASMR. Let's set off on our adventure. After a long and tiring journey, the hero approached a huge ancient castle. From the look of it, the castle had been abandoned many centuries ago. But something gave him a mysterious feeling he wasn't alone. The adventurer saw an open window on the second floor. Which way to go? Walk through the gates or climb in through the window? As a visual novel experience, you have to select exactly what you do. Go through the gates or go through the window. As you have selected Heart of a Killer, this protagonist is afraid of no one, and surely wouldn't creep around a window, implying that he is a coward. He would storm through the castle, ready to screw up the lives of anybody in his way. Let's head through the gates and see if anyone can stop us. The hero found himself in the castle courtyard. It was in ruins and desolation. Everything was covered with a thick layer of dust. Among the clutter on the floor, the hero noticed a manhole leading to the sewers. There was also a door nearby. What's your choice? Go through the door or climb down the manhole. Climb down there? Like a filthy sewer rat? No. We're here for a challenge. Let's go straight through the front door. Through oak doors, the hero cautiously stepped into a spacious hall. Armor, weapons hanging on the walls, torn curtains on the windows. It seemed that no one was there, but all of a sudden, a ghost of a naked girl appeared before him out of thin air. She floated up to the adventurer and said, "Hello, I'm the maid. Why did you come to the castle?" That made his eyes pop out. Nice. He thought. But what should he say to her? Choose. Where is the library? What is this castle and who's the owner? Or, no time for that. What is this castle and who's the owner? This castle belongs to Neo the Fourth. He spends all his time in the treasury full of stolen jewels. He hasn't left the vault with the biggest and most expensive diamond in the world for more than 1,500 years. He asked me not to disturb him. The castle itself is throbbing with life. Well, if you call it life, that is. When the Lord left, the castle was occupied by a band of necromancers from the dead slumber. Some of the things to see in the castle are the kitchen, the prison, the torture chamber, the library, the armory, the Lord's chambers, the portal chamber, and other magnificent examples of the ancient art. Is there anything else you'd like to know? Where's the library? Follow me, said the maid. The adventurer entered a huge library filled with ancient books and scrolls. There must be something worthwhile if you read it, but the hero knew nothing about books and could hardly spell. The library was dead silent. At the end of the hall, he saw a door which said librarian. Should he delve into the books or go straight to the librarian? Let's go see this librarian, see if he has anything useful for us. When the hero was entering the librarian's office, he accidentally knocked down a book with his sword. Stay where you are, you dumbhead. You're in the library. Keep it down, will you? The orc-like creature howled when he heard the thud. So this must be the librarian, thought the adventurer. He's probably very smart and he must know the way to the treasury. Should he say sorry or punish him for being so obnoxious? Dumbhead? No one speaks to us like that. It's time for your punishment. Who does that schmuck think he is? Thought the hero, and attacked the librarian. But the orc saw it coming and cast a spell at that same moment. Now the adventurer had to do something about the fireball sweeping towards him. Should he deflect it with the sword, duck or dodge the attack, and push a bookcase at the librarian? Make a dive. Pathetic. Fire magic. The hero ducked, just when the ball whooshed over his head, setting a bookcase on fire. Should the adventurer throw the sword at the librarian, or come closer and attack him? Throw the sword, before he can attack us with another ranged fireball attack. The sword went right in the librarian's chest, killing him. Should the adventurer straight ahead? Should they go straight ahead, or turn left now? Let's turn. The hero entered a large smithy. There was a hearth, an anvil, and other tools any smith has. On the walls the adventurer saw swords, shields, parts of armor, and some weird long pipes. The blacksmith wasn't in. Should the hero walk through the door which said, "Recreation room," or bang on that strange pipe with his sword? That seems like a bad idea. I love to watch a good explosion, but not when I'm standing right next to it. Let's go to the rec room. As he entered the door, the hero saw a sad, bulky man in a blacksmith's apron sitting on a couch. A large sledgehammer was propped nearby. "I need your help, friend. 2 days ago I sent my apprentice to the mine to get some uranium ore, but he hasn't come back yet. He must have taken a wrong turn and was caught by the spider. He might still be alive. If you help me find him, I'll show you the way to the engineer. I have commissions from the Interstellar Confederation to build gazillions of warheads. They're losing the war, you see, and I won't make it on my own. So are you in?" asked the blacksmith. Choose. Help him or refuse. Who the hell does this guy think he is? You think I can just do your bidding just because you ask? Nah, you're on your own, buddy. I've got no time for that. I'm here to find the treasure, said the hero. Then I'll have to kill you. You know too much already. said the blacksmith, who grabbed his sledgehammer and swung it in the air. Should the adventurer ward off the attack or jump clear of the hammer? Dodge it. The adventurer was too fast for the sledgehammer, which hit the stone floor instead. When the hero dodged it, he had some time to choose what to do next while the blacksmith was busy retrieving his hammer from the floor. Should he strike the smith with a Swordbreaker, attack him with the sword, or simply run away? We are not running away. We love a challenge. Kill him with the Swordbreaker attack. The adventurer threw himself at the blacksmith. In the air, struck him with the Swordbreaker right in his heart. Now that the smith was dead, the hero could go on his way. Yes, hero. Call me whatever you want. The adventurer stumbled on a floor and on a door which said laboratory, and went inside. He found himself in a spacious room with various metal frames and other junk. The tables were covered with some equipment, microchips, and wires. Next to one of the tables, he noticed a piece of pipe. Should the hero rummage through the junk on the tables, or leave the lab? Let's snoop around. The hero was going through the junk when he saw a pile in the floor turning into a metal monster. The next second, the golem-like villain went for the hero. What should he do? Attack him with the sword, or throw the pipe at him? The pipe might be more effective. Go for it. The hero grabbed the pipe and threw it at the golem. The pipe knocked out one of the parts from its metal body, but it got back in its place in no time, as if attracted by a magnet. As soon as the monster retrieved the missing part, it went for the adventurer. Should the hero short-circuit the golem with some wires, or turn over the table with the all-metal junk on the monster? It was rebuilding itself with magnetism, so it's a bad idea to give it more metal to assemble itself with. A short circuit seems like a good way to destroy our foe. The adventurer grabbed a couple of wires and jabbed them into the golem's body, electrocuting him. The hero was thrown several meters back, and the metal monster got torn apart. All that was left was the golem's shining glass heart. Should the adventurer take it? Seems powerful, but unsafe. We'll leave it for now. The adventurer found himself in a long hall with a glass ceiling. It used to be the Lord's oceanarium. Some glass was broken, so there was no water in the aquarium overhead, but the hall itself was flooded up to the hero's waist. There were some boxes and other junk floating in the water. Underneath, he could see some fish. Should he make his way further, or take a closer look at the bottom? We got no time to swim around. Let's move on. The hero went on making his way through the water until he saw a fin at the far end of the hall. It was a shark. Excellent. A challenge. And it was coming closer and closer to him. Should the adventurer prepare for the attack, or evade the shark? Come at me. Attack. The adventurer prepared for the attack, and when the shark was close enough, stabbed it in the side, just avoiding its sharp teeth. The wounded shark went for the hero again. Should he strike its head with a Swordbreaker, or throw one of the dresses floating around in its snout? While we love a lady in a dress will be useful at disorienting the shark if we throw it at its snout. Use a dress. The hero caught the right moment and threw some rags on the shark's snout. After that, he had no trouble plunging his Swordbreaker from the top. The shark was finally dead, and the adventurer could go on his way. Strange. Is this the engineer that the blacksmith was talking about? A strange alien creature. The adventurer found himself now in a massive hall with a hole in one of the walls. Among some rubble, he saw a large metal disc with shining lights around its surface. There was smoke coming out of the saucer. It had been clearly damaged. Next to it, there was a strange greenish big-eyed creature sitting on a rock. It looked very sad. Oh, boo-hoo. Should the adventurer sneak past the creature or talk to it? Let's talk to this pitiful thing. The hero decided to talk and went up to the creature. "Hi, what's your name? Where do you come from?" asked the hero. "Greetings, Earthling. I'm Zet, one of the Magisates, a humanoid race. I deliver ammunition for Alien Tech Interstellar Corporation, AT for short. In case you're not aware, there's a war going on between the Interstellar Confederation and the Free Planets Coalition. The Confederation is losing at the moment. We don't have enough weapons, so our corporation has commissioned Hans, the local blacksmith, to supply nuclear rockets for the IC. I've come to pick up the rockets, but on my way to the castle something went wrong with the autopilot, and my spaceship crashed into the wall instead of landing in the courtyard, and now the ship is badly damaged. I sent out an SOS and we'll have to wait for our guys to respond," said the alien. Blah, blah, blah. The adventurer could hardly follow Zet, and the blacksmith he was speaking of was already dead. What a pity. Why am I telling you this? It's as if I tried to explain the corpuscular and wave theory of light to you. A countryman like you won't get it anyway. The only thing you can do for me is help clear the debris, said Zet. Should the adventurer help him? Pretend to be really busy? Or tell him to get lost? Another freeloader, wanting labor for nothing. Get the hell out of here. We're not helping you. You're a demon, that's who you are, the hero growled, and drew his sword. You should know I really didn't want to do this, Zet sighed, and shot his blaster at the adventurer. Should he deflect the plasma beam or make a dive? Fend it off with a sword. Your alien weaponry's no match for us. The adventurer managed to deflect the plasma beam with his sword. Judging by Zet's expression, he didn't expect that either. He then vigorously started to press some buttons on his sleeve. Should the hero throw his sword at him, or make a dash for the alien to attack? He's up to something. Throw the sword quickly. Without thinking twice, the adventurer threw his sword at the alien. The sword struck him when he was just going to press the last button. Zet was knocked down on the floor, bleeding. Now the hero could get out of here. The next moment, the hero found himself in a spacious, luxurious room with a magnificent bed next to the wall. This was the chamber of Lord Neo IV himself. The adventurer felt some dark vibes from this place. It was as if someone was watching him. What should he do next? Rummage through the wardrobe for something useful to lie down? On the bed and take a nap instead, perhaps? Let's get some rest. Is bed suitable for a king? I'd like a go. The adventurer lay down on the magnificent bed and fell asleep. In his dream, he was in a strange place called Astral World. Once inside, the hero found himself in a spectacular, otherworldly room. Suddenly, a beautiful girl appeared before him out of thin air, beckoning him. Should he approach her and come closer to the girl? No way. What do you take me for, a fool? No chance. Vile woman. I know you. You're that damn succubus who's wasted so many lives in this castle, shouted the hero. Oh, do you? Well then, you just gave me another reason to kill you, said Succubus, smiling at the adventurer. The demoness summoned a whip and gave it a wave. Should the adventurer dash away from it, or try to fend it off with the sword? We're not afraid of you. Ward off the whip. When the adventurer saw the whip coming at him, he waved his sword and cut off its end. The next second he threw his sword at the demoness, but the succubus deftly moved aside. Now that he lost his sword, what should the hero do? Dash to the demoness and strike her with the Swordbreaker, or see what she's going to do next? We're waiting for no one. This vile demoness will die. Swordbreaker attack. Without thinking twice, the hero rushed to the demoness and plunged his Swordbreaker into her flesh. The succubus let out a moan and sagged to the floor. When her body began to disappear, the adventurer found himself still lying on the bed. Then he got up and went on his way. The adventurer entered a dark room. In the corner there was a man in black armor sitting on a chair. The room didn't have any more doors. In the other corner he noticed a glowing magical portal. This must be the portal room. Nice deduction, genius narrator. Who are you? Asked the hero. I am Sylvester. I am the knight of the Temple of Fate. It is my job to protect the portal from the necromancers, said the man. Oh, I was just looking for them, and for the treasury. Will you let me through? Asked the adventurer. Only you can choose your path. How did you prove yourself? Who did you help? Did you kill a lot? Or maybe you have a yellow streak down your back. I can read you like a book, you know. This room will lead you to your destiny. Prepare yourself and enter the portal, said the knight. Really? Trials? Give us all you got. We're afraid of nothing. The hero entered the glowing portal, and the reality warped around him. When the adventurer opened his eyes again, he found himself in a small room with a window. This must be one of the castle towers. The room had a huge cauldron in the middle and was full of alchemical equipment. What kind of trial is that? The hero wondered. Then he heard the knight of the Temple of Fate. Your cruelty knows no bounds. Many of your opponents could have survived had you been kinder. But what is done cannot be undone. So in the trial you deserve, you will have to face Broomhilda, the old witch and the necromancer's servant. Since you're so merciless, you won't spare her life, said the knight. The next moment an old hag in rags entered the room leaning on a stick. Should the adventurer attack her first, or wait? We got no time for this. Attack. The hero rushed to the witch, trying to slash her with his sword, but she managed to vanish into thin air just before the fatal blow. A second later, the old hag reappeared behind the cauldron. Should the adventurer jump over the cauldron to stab the witch, or try to feint the attack? We don't know what's in that cauldron. Let's fake it and get ready to strike. The adventurer jerked aside to trick the witch, but stayed where he was. When the witch teleported behind his back, he grabbed her by the throat, plunged his sword, and threw her into the cauldron. It was all over for her now. The long hallways of the castle led the adventurer to a magnificent huge door. The hero kicked the door and entered the throne room. Do come in, my worst friend. I've been expecting you. The Lord of Necromancers welcomed the hero. Who the hell are you? The Lord of what? The old fart society? The adventurer snapped with a cheeky grin. I see you're very bold, so you'll blend in perfectly. Do you want to have all the might and power of necromancy? Would you like to be immortal? Are you keen on scourging the defiant ones? I, Belchiflatus, the Lord of Necromancers and head of the Dead Slumber Society, can give you such power, the necromancer exclaimed with a smug expression on his face. There was an awkward silence, and the hero's face broke into a smile. Well, my mother got a bit carried away with my name, so you should just call me the Lord, the old necromancer said in a confused voice. Even my white tiger thinks that's an overwhelming voice. The hero paused to think. He had come all this way. What happens next? Should he accept the Lord's offer? Choose. Turn it down or accept. The power of necromancy? Darkness? At our disposal, power is what we seek. I accept. Deal. I want a superpower, a new armor, and a sword, said the hero. For now I'll give you just enough strength to break the treasury open and fetch me the diamond, said the Lord. The old necromancer whispered a spell and sent a wave of black energy to the adventurer. At that moment, the hero felt a surge of power penetrating his body. Go get rid of Neo the Fourth and bring me the diamond. Then we can talk about your promotion, buddy, said the Lord. Oh, we're pals now. How cute. A little later, the hero approached a huge round door. There it was, the treasury of Lord Neo the Fourth. Should he try and blow up the door or rip it off the wall with his new power? Let's blow it up. Test our new powers. The adventurer focused and waved his hands towards the treasury. He stepped back, aiming at the door with a beam of energy, and shot. The explosion was so strong that the door got smashed into smithereens, and the hero collapsed. He got up, though, cleaned himself up, and entered the room. It was a large chamber full of gold and jewels. In the middle there was an enormous diamond sitting on a pedestal. The adventurer's face lit up. The quest was over. He finally made it. Then the hero noticed a lean old man holding a sword and a shield. This must be Lord Neo the Fourth himself. Who would have thought he was still alive? I am Lord, the man started, but the adventurer cut him short. Save your breath, old fart. I know who you are, and I've come for the diamond. And your head, he said. The Lord saw it was no use talking, and went for the hero with his sword. Should the adventurer use his magical power, or throw a handful of coins into Neo's face? Let's use our new magic, see how effective it is. The adventurer waved his hands and sent a ball of fire at the Lord. The magic flame engulfed Neo, making him fall on the gold-strewn floor. How magnificent! He screamed and tried to put out the fire, but all was useless. The adventurer stepped over the charred body and headed for the diamond. It was so beautiful. Now that he had it, it was time to go back to the necromancer. We have the diamond and this dark power at our disposal. Marvelous. When the adventurer entered the throne room, he saw 4 more necromancers at both sides of the Lord. Oh, you've got the gem, exclaimed the warlock. Well, it wasn't that hard for me to get it. The old man was too weak to resist, said the hero. Give it to me now, said the Lord. First, I want to get promoted. I'd like more of that power you gave me, said the adventurer. All right, there you go, said the necromancer, and cast another spell. At that moment, the hero felt a massive surge of power going through his body. The faces of the dead flashed before his eyes. The spell also changed the way he looked. He had now obtained new armor and a sword. You've got your promotion. From now on you will serve the dark power and me. Now give me the diamond, cried the Lord of Necromancers. You know what? I've changed my mind. I don't want to be your servant, after all. Besides, I'd rather keep the diamond to myself, the adventurer said in a defiant voice, and prepared for battle. Should he use his magical power, his sword, or both? Let's use both. Destruction in both forms. The hero made a dash for the necromancers and used his sword to behead the right ones while sending lightning bolts at the ones in the left. Oh, that was a real death feast. Now there was only the Lord to deal with. Meanwhile, the warlock realized he'd made a huge mistake when he gave the adventurer magical power, and he was going to get it back. You're welcome to try. Should the hero knee the Lord in the groin or use his new power to attack him? Oh, you're gonna fight me, huh, necromancer? Well, I fight dirty. Hit him in the nuts. The adventurer kneed the necromancer in the groin. The blow was so hard that his eyes almost popped out. The warlock collapsed on the floor, doubling over with pain. Should the adventurer finish him with his sword or leave the castle? When has mercy ever served my purposes? Let's send him to the Shadow Realm. Kill him. The hero waved his sword and without thinking twice, chopped off the necromancer's head. Blood gushed out of his neck, spilling all over the place, and his head tumbled and rolled. When the adventurer picked up the diamond, he thought, "Why should I leave? I've got both the most expensive gem in the world and enormous magical power. As for the castle, it needs an owner too." And so, the Swordbreaker decided to stay. Time for a killer's epilogue. This is how the story ends for the hero. He settled down in the abandoned castle. He was lonely, for his only friends were magic and the diamond. Over years, the adventurer got bored with living in the castle and thought he should get more power, raising the castle guards from the dead and plundering villages. People told blood-curdling stories about them and scared their children with his name. He was ruthless beyond all bounds, but none could warm his ice-cold heart. The diamond and the power is mine. Beautiful. And so, our story comes to a close in Swordbreaker, Heart of a Killer, ASMR. No room for mercy or compassion. Swordbreaker carves his way through blood into legend, becoming the Dark Lord himself, terrorizing the land and all who dare oppose him. But perhaps he had to be this way. Looking on the castle map, you can see various forms that the Swordbreaker could have died. He was no coward, but he was no hero. But we became the Lord of Darkness. And so, our adventure in Swordbreaker ASMR comes to an end. Thank you for joining me in this dark adventure. If you would like to watch an alternative adventure, feel free to check out Swordbreaker, Heart of a Hero ASMR, or Swordbreaker, Heart of a Coward ASMR. This mini-series has 3 episodes that I hope you will enjoy, either for entertainment or relaxation. And also, I personally recommend this game to you, as on all stores it exists on, it is extremely cheap to purchase, so it's an inexpensive, fun game to play. And I hope you have enjoyed my free playthroughs of this game, of this ASMR mini-series. So until next time, I am Alakazam, ASMR, and thank you for watching Swordbreaker ASMR. Take care of yourself, my friends, and I'll see you in the next great adventure. Adios, my friends.